Okay, hello and welcome all to Agile NZ TV Live. I'm joined here by Dipesh Pala, who is with IBM and is one of the speakers at the conference today. How are you doing, Dipesh?
Thanks, Adam. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, very well. It's lunchtime, so it's noisy and bustly in here, but we'll do our best.
Yeah.
So your talk at the conference is about sort of breaking down user stories into smaller chunks and doing that. What's your best tactic? So I've always found that people are like, oh, we just can't break this down. We have to deliver this all at once. What's your kind of go-to tactic for dealing with that sort of response?
Okay, so the first thing that I challenge everyone is to bring in a story that is easy to, or not easy to break up. Every time if you ask people, okay, how do you break up the story? There's hundreds of stories that they can't break up, and I challenge them back saying, okay, I can challenge you that I can break up each and every one of them if given an opportunity and if you have 5 minutes at it. And then get them to rethink about all the kind of patterns and tips that I usually talk about. And there's a list of 10 that not only I have invented but have been done by others like Jeff Patton and Richard Lawrence. They've done some amazing work on those breaking up tips. So I've put together 10 tips, and if you go through those 10 and you still can't break up, then come and see me.
And then you'll really show off.
And then we work together to make it happen.
Absolutely.
And I haven't yet come across one that hasn't been able to break up. Even by cheating, right? So
do you find that it's a mindset thing as much as anything else?
I think so. I think the two things that people struggle with most is the not knowing when or how to break up. It's not because of not knowing the patterns and the tips. It's just not even thinking about it. So it's just the mindset and the culture and acceptance that a big chunks are okay. So I think with leaders and managers, what they need to do more of is create an environment where small wins are celebrated.
Right, absolutely.
So that encourages the teams to make things small.
Awesome. So, I mean, we're using the term breakup a lot, and in your description of your talk, you sort of referenced the old relationship breakup thing. We've all kind of got a funny, in hindsight, relationship breakup story. Do you have a funny story about sort of when you've broken up work in a particularly difficult situation, or something you can share?
No, I don't have any breakup at works, but the thing I refer to is when I talk about relationship breakups, the difficulties in real life difficulties. The breakups are very tearful, and they can be quite risky, expensive, lots of dependencies and things like that. So all of those things apply to work as well, right? So when you're breaking up actual pieces of work, it can become quite risky because of the complexities involved. It can become quite expensive because of duplication of work and things like that. So the relationship between the difficulties of breaking up work items as well as a relationship is quite closely linked. Because as humans, we are all scared about trying out something that we haven't done before too many times.
Cool, nice. So it's the other.
But I met someone who had broken up 21 times before in his life.
Oh wow.
So I thought that was amazing.
Okay. So the theme of this conference is really around transformation. Do you have a particular example of when you transformed your thinking in your career?
I think when I first got introduced to Agile was in 2006, 2007 when I started working on a project for Suncorp, which was out of Auckland, and we were their first distributed Agile team. I was looking after the team in Auckland, and the Suncorp was a big giant for us in Queensland, and we didn't really know Suncorp well or Agile that well at the time, but the way that they went together on this journey, because I was a subcontractor at the time, and it didn't feel like I was not part of Suncorp. All the training courses, all the kind of things that they were doing in terms of their own transformation. As a vendor, I was also part of it.
Involved in,
And that was an eye-opener, as in, these guys are really into partnership, right? And we want to make it work together. And that made made me rethink about, as a consultant or as a vendor, how do you present yourself to a client like that? Right? So it makes you think about, okay, now we can think differently. It's not about negotiations of the contracts, it's more about customer collaboration.
It's embracing that people side of the Agile.
And absolutely. And that was the turning point, I think, at the time. And after that, I've been with them for a while. And in 2012, I joined IBM.
Yeah.
And trying to do similar kind of things.
Make that happen.
Yeah, but IBM being an ocean, it's a big
a
ask.
challenge.
Yeah, it is a big ask, but we're not boiling the ocean at once.
Yep.
And we are very serious about our own agile transformation in IBM. And the journey has begun quite seriously this year.
Excellent.
And that's why we are here and
Yep.
making it a serious deal. Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess one final question. We're halfway through day one of the conference. What's been your sort of biggest insight so far from any of the talks that you've been to?
Yeah, so there have been many of those. I think the trail balloon from Lisa Atkins was really good.
Right.
The trialing of the new ideas and then backing off if it doesn't work or going with it if it works.
Yep.
I think that was a good way of doing things where it could be used at home, in politics, and in the workplace, everywhere.
Multi-purpose
so,
ideas.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll ask her. I'm supposed to talk to her later on, so I might ask her about it. But Dipesh, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks
really
for
good to
your
talk to you.
time.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more interviews later on. Thank you very much.